Hey everyone, Brian Mathews here with another video for you from Southern Pine Outdoors. And as the video title says, we're going to be going over the Mathews V3 27-inch axle to axle. This bow was part of a sweepstakes given by Bow Hunter Die or bowhunting.com. So if y'all want a chance to win the new Mathews coming out, go to their website, find the sweepstakes, and enter to win, because who knows, you might be next. So getting into the bow itself, I'm going to go over what the bow is, why I chose this particular bow, and some of the features and things like that that I've kind of added to it. The first thing is, this is a Mathews V3 27-inch. They make a 31. The reason I went with the 27. Sorry guys. This is a Mathews V3 27-inch. I went with the 27 instead of the 31 because of my height. I am 5'6". Wingspan as far as draw length is about 27. And so that number right there just kind of told me, hey, this might be a great bow for you. Also, the longer axle to axle makes it a little bit more difficult. Not to say it's impossible, but it just makes it a little bit more difficult to get in and out of the tree stand, in and out of the ground blind, especially if you're carrying camera gear and stuff like that. So really just wanted a compact bow that fit my style of hunting, which is deer hunting mostly. I do a little bit of turkey hunting and trying to do some hog hunting this summer, hopefully. But this is in the Realtree Edge camo. The quality of the dip, in my opinion, is all right. The machining of the riser, the bow, the whole 9 yards, this is a great bow. There are some places, and I'm not affiliated obviously with Mathews, but I'm trying to be as honest with y'all as possible without bashing a company completely. The quality of the dips, I'm not sure if it's just my bow in particular, but I've gone and looked at a few others in the stores. You may or may not have any issues with that, but the brightness of the actual camouflage dip is hit or miss. I would say that's one of the complaints that I've seen so far with the bow. The other complaint is checking out your cams as soon as you get them, or soon before you even buy it from the store. If you buy it from a store, it's just making sure that there aren't any burrs, any rubs, or anything like that with the cams, and make sure that they paper tune the bow. That's any bow. In to be honest with you, make sure you check those cams, because as that string and that cable pull through those pulleys and everything, you know, if there's any kind of nick or burr on those cams or pulleys, it will wear those strings out a lot quicker, if not snap immediately. The second thing that I noticed, or third thing I noticed with my bow particularly, was the serving on the string was starting to separate a little bit, and I'd never even shot it. So just paying attention to those details. Obviously, a set of strings isn't that expensive. If you're already paying for a $1,200 bow, you probably think, hey, I shouldn't have to replace the strings. But those strings that they put on here, a lot of people say, I've never had any issues, but there are a lot of people that say they do. So just make sure you pay attention as you're purchasing that bow, or as you receive that bow from Mathews or any other company, that you make sure that there aren't any defects from the manufacturer, and if there are, get in touch with them. I'm sure they'd be glad to help you out and resolve the issue. Other than those three things, everything about this bow I'm in love with, all the way down to the last name. The first thing that I'm going to go over is the rest. I've got the Ultra Rest. I believe it's the HDX. MX, sorry about that. The MX rest. They have an HDX rest. that's a little bit better quality or a little bit better grade, a little bit more features, I'm sure. But the MX rest, for me personally, I've seen no issues out of it. I've heard that it may or may not be as reliable as a Trinity, but for what I do, deer hunting, you know, I'm not going out shooting a lot of competitions or things like that, and you know, I'm your typical blue collar guy that likes quality gear but doesn't want to spend a whole lot of money. Obviously, this rest here and the Trinity are about the same price tag. The weight difference, though, between the Trinity and this one is, the Trinity is a good bit heavier, but a lot of that might be because it's got more metal built into it. But anyways, so far I have not seen any issues out of it. As far as comparison, the sound quality, as far as how loud it is, I would say this one's a little bit louder than the Trinity, but like I say, no complaints as far as accuracy or anything like that once it gets completely set up. Going to the sight, this is an HHA Tetra Sight. I got this with the bow along with the rest. It's a single pin sight. I'm used to shooting on my old bow a fixed pin, fixed sight, so no slider and, you know, multiple pins. So 20, 30, 40 was about all I had set up because it was only a 3-pin sight. No level or anything like that either. So this has been a huge, huge upgrade for me, and learning how to adjust the sight and not forgetting to spin the wheel whenever I go from one target to the next in the backyard. The only negative I can see for me personally with the single pin sight is, like a lot of people say, when you're deer hunting or you're hunting in general and that animal moves on you, you've got to figure out, okay, how many steps did it take, adjust your sight, and if you're at full draw, you're going to have to adjust your sight manually by visually seeing, okay, the deer stepped closer to me or stepped further away, so you're going to have to aim high or low based off of that. So without having to go back to normal, adjust your sight and then pull back again. So I can see the negatives to the single pin sight for some hunting applications, or if you're not sure exactly where that deer is going to come out, or you don't have enough time to pull out your rangefinder, get a range on it, set your pin, you know, pull back and release the arrow. With this sight, it's great for the target shooting aspect or the 3D shooting to an extent. Obviously, if you're getting into more tournament style 3D shooting, then you're going to want something totally different than this. But for that all-encompassing, let's do it kind of all thing, I would say this is a great sight for that. The biggest benefit in my mind for the single pin versus the multi-pin is the fact that it cleans it up. It makes it where you can actually focus on the animal or focus on the target behind the pin instead of you know, having all these pins and you're trying to obviously see through them all to get to your target. So enough about that. If y'all have any questions about the sight, just message me down below, comment down below. The next thing that I got with the bow, or purchased for the bow, was the stabilizer here. This is the Mathews 12-inch stabilizer, and then I received the dead center stabilizer. This is a 9-inch stabilizer from the Sweepstakes. I did have to buy the adapter here in the back. This is just the Mathews straight adapter to be able to screw it in. Haven't seen any need to go with the adjustable one just yet. So far, I've only shot with the front riser on there. I originally started with just the front. I just recently put the back one on and I haven't shot it yet. Just want to see how much of a difference now that I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with the bow shooting it, and see if I can't fix some of my lean that I've got with my sight and my bubble. The other things that I bought were the integrated engaged limbs leg limbs down at the bottom. I went with obviously the bigger ones, the little crow feet looking ones, just so that the bow itself would stand up. I don't have a long enough riser to where it hits the ground and can balance with the riser, or the stabilizer, I'm sorry. And then the other thing, obviously, is the quiver itself. Because of the shorter bow and me wanting to be as compact as possible, I went with the 4-arrow quiver. 4-arrow quiver. Say that 5 times fast. Just because of simple use of getting into a tree stand, and I don't see myself shooting more than 4 times, hopefully, at a deer or any other animal. So that was those are kind of the upgrades or additional accessories that you may want to look at getting. Obviously, you'll need the rest. You'll need the sight, and you'll probably want some kind of stabilizer. The quiver and the extra stabilizer and all that are kind of as you get back into it kind of deal, or as you get into it. The ABB strings were part of the sweepstakes as well. I went ahead and changed them out from the zebra strings. Once again, the ones that came from the factory, the serving was separating just a little bit. I still have them. I wouldn't throw them away. I'd keep them as an extra set of strings just in case money gets tight and the strings are time to change it. But like I say, I've had no issues out of these. I've probably shot, I'd say 150, 200 arrows off this string already, and it still shoots accurately. I mean, obviously we can probably get a couple of thousand shots out of it easily. But anyways, this is just a brief rundown of what I've got, what I'm planning on shooting this coming deer season. And wanted to introduce y'all to this bow. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to comment down below. Like and subscribe to this video, and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you if you like anything with hunting, fishing, the outdoors, archery. You know, we'd love to have you follow along. We appreciate everyone that does join. And I will leave a link in the description for you guys to check out the accessories that I have from the Mathews website, but also the other accessories, and also my local pro shop that I go to, so that y'all can check his website out. And if you have any questions that I personally can't answer, maybe he can answer them for you as well. And appreciate y'all, and thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.